Hey all, Tony Bing here, and welcome to another video for Marvel Strike Force. Now for tonight's video we have something that will hopefully be a bit of fun. So with the last patch to the game we had quite a few characters introduced to the game as enemies we can fight against. Now that means when we actually go into settings and pause the game we can view those particular enemies and see what their kit's like. So there's heroes that aren't yet playable, we can see how they're going to play. Now the heroes in question I've managed to get details of their kit from are Groot, Loki, Mordo, Red Skull, Star-Lord, Doctor Strange, Ultron and also Vision as well. So what I'm going to do is bring up each of the tooltips I managed to capture in game and we'll run over the skills and I'll give my observations and see how I could actually see these characters fitting into existing teams as well. Now I will put in actual hyperlinks as well within the description of this video, so if you want to jump to any particular character you're looking forward to then feel free to do that as well. But here we go, we'll start off by having a look at Groot first. Now just before we do have a look at Groot's kit, I will quickly mention that the level of the character shown in the tooltip ties in with the character that I was actually fighting against. So some may be a bit lower, some may be a bit higher. It means we don't get to see the skills at necessarily max level, but we can still get a very good idea of how the particular character will play. So with Groot, if we look at his traits first, so it's Hero, Cosmic, Bio, Support and Guardian. Important ones will be Cosmic, because that campaign's really quite tough, and with Guardian and with us looking at Star-Lord later we'll have our 5 Guardians of the Galaxy, so that's awesome. Can't wait to see how they will all work together. The basic skill we look at first is Crushing Blow. So with this it's just a regular single target skill, so you're attacking the primary target. At level 5 it's doing 260% damage. We then have his special skill which is Overgrowth. This one's at level 5 and you gain Death Proof and you apply Death Proof to the 3 lowest health allies. That's really quite powerful because Death Proof is essentially an extra hit when your character would normally get knocked out, so that could come in really useful for 3-starring the missions. For his ultimate skill we have Life Spores. So with this you heal all lowest health allies. At the moment it's for 900 health and 5% of this character's max health. I'm not quite sure if Groot will have a high health pool or not. You want a higher health pool because then it will mean 5% is worth more, and he also has a 30% chance to clear negative effects from allies. So hopefully that goes up a fair bit higher once you do level that skill up. For his passive we then have I Am Groot, awesome name on that one. So on death, currently it's a 15% chance to revive with 10% of the character's max health. So we all know the AI always likes to abuse that, but it seems when you play a character you don't see this proc very often. He does also have a 50% chance to apply defense up on all allies upon his defeat, and on his death as well he'll actually cast Death Proof on Rocket Raccoon if he's in the same team as well. So it's nice to see the little team up there. I'm also curious if we'll have any team up animations and maybe between Rocket and Groot. I would love if for example Rocket jumped on Groot's shoulder or something like that. That really would be an awesome fanboy moment. But next up we'll check out Loki. So this is a character that I'm really looking forward to myself, and in game what we've seen of him when we're facing off against him, he actually looks fantastic. I love the moves he's got and how they actually look as well. But if we look at his traits, it's Villain, Cosmic, Mystic, Controller and Asgardian. So Cosmic and Mystic helps us out in those campaigns, and then with Asgardian you have Thor, who actually provides additional damage to Asgardians. So imagine in time we'll see more ones as well. Maybe we'll see Odin, Angela, Sif and so on as well. When we get to his abilities, his basic is Eldritch Bolt. That brings back memories of Marvel Heroes skills such as this. So you attack the primary target for 220% damage and you have a 30% chance to gain evade. That's pretty high considering it's on a basic that can be spammed every turn if you wished, although you'd be using other skills as well. The next skill we have is his special, which is Mind Control. So you apply defense down to primary target for 2 turns. That's really pretty strong. That I do like the look of that. Cast it on someone and then have the likes of, let's say, Winter Soldier or Elektra then firing off their attacks on them. That would be a heap of damage done. Now on this skill you also get a 50% chance to mind control 1 to 2 enemies to attack the primary target for 25% damage. I've seen that in action and it looks really good. We then have the ultimate, which is mirror image, so you gain stealth, summon 2 mirror images at 260% normal damage and 100% of normal health, and you gain a huge 75% chance to gain a fade as well there, so you'll have the stealth and evade potentially, so it'll make him nice and tricky to take down. And then finally you have his passive, which is God of Trickery. With this it reduces the enemy resistance. In this instance at level 4 it's reducing it by 25%. I would imagine maybe at level 5 it might go all the way up to 30%, which is really pretty huge there. Now the next character we'll look at will be Mordo. With Mordo then we have another character whose kit is really chock full of goodies. So we'll look at the traits first though. It's Villain, Cosmic, Mystic, Controller and Martial Artist. The important ones there will be Cosmic and Mystic for helping us in those campaigns. When we look at the abilities, his basic skill is Arcane Scourge, so attack primary target for 180% damage and apply 1 to 2 random negative effects. That's really pretty nice, especially given there's not a massive amount of effects, so there's a good chance you'll maybe get something very useful like slow or defense down there. When we look at the special skill, it's Mesmerize, so 50% chance to apply stun to primary target. That's pretty nice. This is when it gets tasty though. If target is not stunned, apply blind to target. Blind's actually better than stun, because stun, if they're about to use a large AoE, it just delays it and they'll use it, whereas with blind they'll cast it and miss. So I actually prefer that they would miss. So you've got the blind, and you also have a 50% chance to apply blind to 3 additional targets, and then a 50% chance to apply slow to 1 target. I really like that skill there. It's going to unfortunately make Hawkeye look not as good, but I do like it a lot. For the ultimate we have Demons of Denak, so attack all targets for 180% damage and apply heal block for 2 turns. So that'll be pretty good for taking out an individual target. If there's maybe a healer on another team, you can go for your glass cannon you want to take out, apply the heal block on them and then just whittle them down and the healer will be useless essentially, so I do like that as well. For the passive we have Too Many Sorcerers, so there's quite a lot in the tooltip for this one. It's on death of any character, heal self for 5% of this character's max health. On death of a mystic, heal self for 15% of this character's max health and gain ability energy. So it says any character, so I presume that would actually be summons as well. So if you run him in a summon team and you've got lots of them getting wiped out, there's a good chance you can get some energy and also health back on him. Now the next character we'll look at anyway, I think he'll struggle to be as good as Mordo, will be Red Skull. We have another summoner character here then when we look at Red Skull, and if we check out the traits, it's Villain, Globo, Bio, Controller and Hydra. None of them really stand out. I know you do get the extra crit chance on Winter Soldier for Hydra members, but other than that there's nothing that really comes to mind that would be massively useful with these traits. When we look at the abilities, his basic attack is Hydra 99 pistol, so attack primary target for 150% damage and apply defense down. It's nice to see more characters getting this, and you have a 50% chance to chain for 120% damage. His special is Elite Guard, so you summon 2 high radiants at 260% normal damage and 100% of normal health. We then have Storm Assault, so this one, apply a fence up to 3 allies. I love a fence up, especially if you can use it just before casting a big AoE, and you also attack primary target for a pretty huge 400% damage, and you call assists from 2 to 3 Hydra allies as well. So imagine the fence up, you've then got the 400% damage, and then you've got potentially Winter Soldier or some other hard hitting Hydra characters doing attacks as well, so that could be really quite lethal. Now for the passive we have Hail Hydra, so there's a chance to gain ability energy when any ally dies and a chance to gain ability energy when Hydra allies dies. It doesn't actually tell us in the tooltip what that particular chance is, but that could be useful there. Now the next character we'll look at will be another Guardians of the Galaxy. This time we've got Star-Lord. So Star-Lord looks to be a very interesting member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. He's all about generating energy to allow his team to get other attacks off. Now if we look at the traits first, it's Hero, Cosmic, Tech, Controller and of course Guardian. The important one being the Cosmic and the Guardian. We've now got our full 5 members. For his basic ability, we have Element Gun, so attack primary target for 230% damage and 30% chance to chain up to 2 additional targets for 180% damage. Pretty simple, but most basic attacks are. We then have an awesome skill in Clever Distraction, so you grant 1 to 2 ability energy to 1 random ally and apply blind to 2 enemies for 1 turn, and this is unavoidable, so it doesn't matter how high the resistance is, this will apply on them. For his ultimate, we have Dual Pistols, so you attack the primary target for 410% damage, pretty nice amount, get an assist from a Guardian's ally, and also a 50% chance to get a random ally assist, so that could put out a heap of damage. If you get, for example, Gamora doing your attack and then you've got another hard hitting character, that could be really nice. We then have his passive, which is Improvisation. So on turn, 30% chance to grant ability energy to 1 random ally and grant ability energy to 1 to 2 Guardians allies. That's really strong and it could get your allies powered up really pretty quick. I like that a lot. Now the next character we'll look at, this isn't really in order here because the way I've placed it, so I've made a bit of a mistake. It's Doctor Strange. I had him simply written down as Strange in my list, which is why he's coming after Star-Lord. So anyone that's a bit OCD like me, this will probably bug you a little bit, so apologies for that. So with Dr. Stephen Strange, we have another really nice looking character here. Now before we get into the abilities, we'll quickly look at the traits. So it's Hero, Cosmic, Mystic and Support. So the Cosmic and Mystic campaign is getting a ton of characters that can help us get through it, so that's fantastic. Now he has a support character and we'll see that when we look at the kit. His basic skill is Bolt of Baltac, so attack primary target for 120% piercing and also 75% chance to apply a fence down, and that is unavoidable. Now this next skill is incredible looking, and again it's another skill I recognise from Marvel heroes. This is Winds of Watum, if that's how you say it. So you apply 1 random negative effect against primary target, but the great bit here is you have a 75% chance to flip all positive effects on each enemy to negative effects. If the positive effects are not flipped, then they're removed instead. So it looks like you've got 100% chance to potentially remove them all, and if they aren't removed, they're flipped. Now I'm thinking of, for example, my Avengers team where I have all my buffs on them, and if that skill went up against them, I would be completely destroyed in the next round. So I'm a bit worried about what Stephen Strange can do against my team. Now the ultimate skill we look at anyway is Book of the Vishanti. So revive dead ally with 30% health. So this is the first character we've got that actually has a skill that's guaranteed to revive a downed ally, so that's great. And you heal all allies for 2300 health and 10% of Doctor Strange's max health. For his passive, we have Master of the Arcane. This one's pretty nice. On turn, 20% chance to fill lowest speed bar by 20%, so that could really mix up the order in which characters can fire off their skills, so it could really mess you up if you maybe end up targeting the wrong one and then another character can get their skill off quicker. So really interesting character here. Now next up we will check out Ultron. We have another summoner character with Ultron, and I really like what they've done with this kit. Now if we look at the traits first though, we have Villain, Global, Tech and Blaster. So Blaster will help out with the challenge where you can only use a Blaster class, and also you've got Tech there as well. So that would work well with, let's see, I think it's Iron Man that offers the extra crit chance to Tech characters, so you could pair them up with Ultron. That'd be a pretty nice pairing. When we look at the abilities, his basic attack is Disintegration Beam. So you attack primary target for 170% damage, and you have a 50% chance to copy 2 positive effects, and also a 50% chance to gain a ranged assist from an Ultron minion. If we look at his passive, it's Factory Upgrade. So summon 2 Ultron minions at 260% normal damage and 100% of normal health. Ultron minion and Ultron gain the positive effect associated with the summoned minion. Now that says to me that the different minions you can bring in, they can be like, for example, protectors or controllers or blasters. So imagine they'll have a positive effect on them. They could have defense up, they could have speed up, for example, and it looks like that'll be spread to the rest of the team. So potentially a full Ultron team could be viable. Maybe throw in Iron Man as well to get the crit chance up there. We then have his ultimate, which is Purge System, so attack primary target for 380% damage, pretty nice, but you also have 100% extra damage for each positive effect currently on sale. So if we think back to the special, that can apply positive effects on Ultron, and then you can use this to up the damage. Now when you do it, it will then clear all positive effects off of your character as well. Finally, for his passive, we have Ultron Prime. On death, 25% chance to revive with 30% of this character's max health. Now I'm hoping that the way this works is that his casing or body that he's in does get destroyed and another one flies in. That would be awesome if they'd done that, so fingers crossed. Now we'll look at the last character here, and it is the awesome Vision. We're finishing up here then with another really interesting character. Now if we look at the traits first, it's Hero, Global, Tech, Controller and Avenger. So we've got another Avenger, that's great. And you've got the Tech tag. If we think back a moment ago, that works great with Iron Man for the extra crit chance. If we look at the abilities, his basic is Heavy Hitter. So you attack primary target for 140% damage, 50% chance to chain up to one additional target for 120% damage, 70% chance to apply defense down against each tech enemy, and then also 50% chance to apply defense down against additional targets. So I like the little flavour there in that he's more damaging against tech enemies. Now for his special, we have Dive Bomb. You attack primary target for 140% damage and adjacent targets for 100% damage, and you apply ability block to primary target. Finally, for his ultimates, possibly the first and only underwhelming skill out of all the ones we've looked at, so hopefully this is due some tuning, or once you raise the level a bit higher it gets more powerful, because it is only level 4 at the moment, but it's Solar Beam. So you attack all targets for 170% damage and a 50% chance to clear one positive effect. Really do hope that does get buffed. Now for the passive, to finish up, we have Density Manipulation. You gain 20% extra dodge chance. When you dodge, he actually goes like transparent and the move goes through him, so it looks great, and I do really like they've done this from a flavour perspective. And on spawn, lowest health tech ally gains defense up. So let's see, if you paired him up with Rocket Raccoon, that could make him a little bit beefier on that first turn with defense up there. But that's all the characters covered that are currently in the game that we can't yet play, unfortunately, but we can go up against, which means we can then see their kit. So this was a interesting video to do. Did enjoy this particular one, to be honest, even though my voice is starting to go again. It's getting quite bad. I think I may be in for tonsillitis, so if that is the case, I go quiet for a few days, you know why. But as always, really I hope this video has been helpful and insightful, and thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all again soon.